Okay, everybody, here we go. It's me, Gregory Mannarino, Tuesday, August 29th, 2023. I want to start off with some economic news that we just got right off the bat. And again, none of this is going to surprise you. It's just what we have expected to happen despite the talk, the nonsense, the garbage, the distractions, and the deceptions here. So, according to their own numbers, a few things are going on. Inflation continues to rise, and what people are earning weighed against the current inflationary environment. Real wages continues to drop and drop and drop even more. So this is an incredible thing that's happening to people, and as you have known since forever now, since day one, this is not going to stop. This is an increasing pressure on people, and it's got nowhere to go but worse from here. So real wages falling off of a cliff yet again. It's an unbelievable thing. Home prices on the rise, and something else is going on. U.S. leading economic indicators, telling us where we are going, are dropping deeper into the negative. I don't even know how this is even possible, but that is what's happening, despite the fact that, we have a yield curve. The yield curve today is the most inverted that we've ever seen. Now, do your own research on this, and I've told you this a million times. Without exception, without even one exception, this kind of a situation has led into a recession, depression, or what is yet to be defined that's coming right at us. How many of you, considering the situation, the news, the propaganda, are at all shocked or at all? I don't think there's a single one of you who are at all surprised. And why? Because you're way ahead of the curve. You and I have been on top of this more so than I think anybody else. It's really the truth here. So let's just summarize real quick. Real wages, it's just done, and people are getting strangled to death. Home prices on the rise. Inflation continues to rise. Leading indicators continue to drop into the negative. Imagine my shock here. Now let's go look over here at the stock market. Yesterday, if you were watching any of the mainstream financial channels, they're all euphoric. Over 2 consecutive days of the S&P 500 putting on gains. Meanwhile, the S&P 500 has been basically negative for a freaking month. Okay. Right now, stock futures are lower across the board. Nothing major, but lower nonetheless. The price action of the S&P 500 remains below its 50-day moving average. This is not a good sign here. Okay, I don't think this is over. Risk in the market, we are close, people, to extreme. The MMRI, Mannarino Market Risk Indicator, link below, free to everybody, is, I had to write it down, it's early, is 272. We're not far away from the dreaded 300 line, which we did cross once, and you remember what happened? They floated out every single Fed president they could muster up. They floated out Nick the Pig, Oink Man, and it worked. All of a sudden, a miracle happened. Risk in the market dropped. Some entity or entities out here bought all kinds of debt. It doesn't seem yet that the cavalry really has arrived. Although, what did we find out recently? BlackRock is buying debt. That's obviously putting a cap, maybe a temporary cap here on the 10-year yield rising. But we'll see. The Fed's obviously buying this as well. They can't just say they're going to keep rates at a certain level. They got to get into the market and make it happen. You won't know that. So let's just see how this plays out. The economic news doesn't stop. It's miserable around the world, not just here in the United States. Inflation's got nowhere to go but much higher. Crude oil. Are you watching crude? Crude oil this morning, $81 a barrel. You and I pretty much nailed this to the wall. So those of you that have been following this blog and maybe playing a little game with crude, you're doing pretty well here. Gold and silver this morning are ever so slightly under pressure. Cryptocurrencies are under some pressure today. So that's the setup for the market right now. I think there's a lot of propaganda. That's all I have to say. Being shoved down our throats via the propaganda ministry. There is no accountability anymore whatsoever. Now, with that said, what are you and I going to do about it? We are unbanking ourselves. That's a fact. We're betting against the debt, become our own central bank. We're not going to stop doing what we are doing. I really believe with every fiber of my being that we are on the right pathway here. This is not going to stop. The pressure on the world, what central banks are doing to the world. Again, this is a crime syndicate of the highest magnitude. I want you to consider what I'm saying here. Central banks around the world working in concert to destroy the economy, to bring about a neo-feudal system. Do you think it's just a coincidence? Let's talk about this for a nanosecond, okay? Maybe a minute, okay? You think it's a coincidence how the last time the Federal Reserve raised the federal funds rate, it was 25 basis points, followed by the Bank of England, 25 basis points, followed by the European Central Bank, 25 basis points. You think that's just happened to be that way? No, these central banks are doing this in lockstep. They have the world and you and me along with it by the throat, and they are going to continue to squeeze tighter and tighter and tighter until it's just done. They are fulfilling their goal. Where's the outcry? I believe there is a quiet revolution going on here, people. I spoke about this yesterday. Watch the video I did if you didn't see it about getting unbanked. I mean, it's an incredible thing. Deposits are down more than $1 trillion year over year. People are pulling their cash out of these institutions, people. It's going on right in our face. It's not getting even the slightest coverage, not even the slightest, I don't think, I haven't seen any, on the mainstream media. They can't allow people to know, because once some people know, then everyone's going to know. It's going to be too freaking late. You got to do something. You got to take action now. Please watch that video. I think it's very, very important here. The financial system today, I mean, I don't know another way to say this. It should be pretty obvious, is teetering on a knife's edge. This is clearly by design as well, a consolidation of the system, a consolidation of power, things that you know about are going on here. But where are our representatives? Where are those people that are supposed to be looking out for you and I? You notice how they're not here? There's no one here? No, we have nothing. We are literally, we're on our own, okay? And meaning, we got to take action. We got to take care of each other, as you know, period, the end. That's just the way this is going to go. Now, we are going to get some economic news here in about a half of an hour. It is 8 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. I will cover that later on when we do my live stream. I hope to see you there. But again, look, I'm sitting here preaching to the choir. Those of you that follow this blog, all of this is expected. The leading indicators getting progressively worse here. The economy in free fall. The illusion of the market is still intact. The illusion of the market is still intact. What are they going to do about it? Are they going to allow this thing to melt down right now in this presidential selection cycle? I don't think so. If, in fact, they can keep things from, I guess, with regard to the market, from deteriorating worse than they are now, people are probably going to be okay with it. I think an enormous effort must be put in place here to buy more of the debt, keep rates suppressed, because risk in the market is going to rattle. It's going to rattle investors, and they're going to pull their cash, and the market could fall in a big way. Anyway, we're just going to keep our eyes on all these things as usual, people. We're going to stay ahead of the curve. We got each other's backs, and I don't think that we can possibly lose, considering that you and I are so ahead of the curve on all of this. Last thing I wanted to talk about here is U.S. debt. The U.S. debt has risen $97 billion in just 1 week. This is historic, and it's not going to stop either. Debts and deficits are going to hyper balloon from here as they at least try to prop this whole thing up. And the effect of that is obviously going to be much higher inflation. It should be obvious to all of you who understand the system, at least at this particular time. All right, people, that's it. Covered a lot here. I hope, I've made some sense of this for you. I will see you later, 4 or 5 p.m. Please have some questions for me. Let's put this thing into perspective, all right? I'll see you later.